Fights at school. They happen all the time. Maybe. I just graduated high school, and from what I remember, most of the time that there was a physical altercation or a time when a student got mouthy with a teacher, I was always absent, or I was just around the corner and I missed it by a second. I swear my sister and I thought that we were just cursed. But I remember this one time where I did witness a fight at school. So while most people think that fights are somewhat entertaining, I've always thought that when you are angry or upset at someone, to not ever get into a fight with them. And it's always important to remember that you never know what could happen, because one, everybody is different, and people can react to certain situations in a variety of ways. So let's talk about the time where I got caught up in a fight on my way to class in my junior year. So for starters, I'm nowhere near a fighter, and I absolutely despise confrontation. I wasn't even personally involved with this altercation, but I just happened to witness it very, very closely. Let's begin. So for context, each school that I went to will be given a letter from the alphabet for simplicity. So from pre-K to 9th grade, I spent most of my time at school A. Then after, I transferred to school B for my 10th grade year. And then I transferred again. So basically, I transferred 3 times, which was kind of scary because going into a new environment can be scary. So in 11th and 12th grade, I went to this one high school that was about 30 minutes away from my house. And because of this, I had to wake up very, very early, which was horrible because most of the time I was late to class. So much to the point that the office and I became terribly well acquainted with one another, and they were in a different building. But because I was showing up to class so late, my teacher pulled me aside one day and told me that if I was late again, then she would mark a 0 in my report card for participation. Which honestly made no sense thinking back on it because I didn't even know that this was a thing that happened. And also, what does my participation have to do with my grades? I'm not trying to put myself on some sort of pedestal, but I was considered a good student. I got all A's, I was quiet at this school, and I did my work when asked to. And I didn't cause any trouble for anybody, students or teachers. Because like I said, I was a new student. And this was like my first month in this school. I'm not using my grades or anything like that about myself to excuse the fact that I was showing up late to class. But in my opinion, I think that maybe she should have asked or questioned why I was showing up so late, which is what she has done with other students before, but I also just didn't know why she was so angry with me about it. But like I've mentioned before, I hate confrontation, and because I didn't want a 0 in my report card, I just said, okay, I'll make sure it doesn't happen again. You may be wondering why this part is needed in this story, but trust me, it'll go together. A couple weeks after this conversation took place, I showed up to school at a very bad time. I wasn't late or anything, but I was borderline about to be late. My first period of class started at 8:20 a.m. in the morning. And I was still in the parking lot at 8:17. And the thing is, the route that I had to take to get to my class is that I had to walk on the sidewalk in the school and then go to our gym building. The gym and the middle schoolers were on the first floor while my homeroom was on the second. But at this high school, you couldn't just open the door to the gym building. No. There was actually this button that you had to press that would set off an alarm, and then a student or a teacher would have to open the door for you, which would take a couple of minutes. I genuinely don't mean to sound rude about this situation because I actually really admire the school for doing this, for taking careful steps to protect the students and staff members there. But come on, not at a time like this, please. And I still had to put my backpack and books in my locker. Wait, pause. Say that again? Did I hear that right? Yeah, unfortunately you did. Guys, at this high school, I wasn't even allowed to bring my backpack in class. Like, they weren't allowed in class. Which of course is somewhat understandable, because you don't want to put it on the floor and then have someone trip over it during a fire drill. And our classrooms were very small. But they didn't even have, like, racks or anything on the wall. We just had to shove our bags in our lockers that already contained our books. Oh my god, why did I just rant about my classroom? That is absolute Anyways, back to the story. So as I was dashing to the gym building and freaking panicking in my mind, A student had actually held the door open for me and I managed to run inside. Unfortunately, I forgot who opened the door for me, and I don't even remember if I had said thank you to that person, but I'm recording this now, so I'm here to say thank you, stranger, or someone who I probably knew, for opening the door for me. So I ran up the stairs and took a glance at the clock in the hallway. 8:18 a.m. At that moment, I ran down the hallway to my locker, and then I paused. I'm not talking about this right now. Yes we are. You're not going anywhere. Let go of me. So I walked up to the unit of lockers hoping to put my things away in time, but there was this couple who appeared to be fighting about something, and they were directly in front of my locker. Now I'm going to give them some names here for privacy, so let's call them Elijah and Amelia. So everyone at the school pretty much knew about them, and they had an on and off relationship. So them fighting wasn't exactly uncommon, if that makes sense. I wanted to ask if everything was okay or to tell them to calm down and maybe head to class, but I couldn't. Like I said, I hated confrontation. Did I already mention that? So in the meantime, I just sat on the floor a few feet from my locker and tried to quickly unpack my books out of my backpack so that when they moved, I could hurry up and stash them in my locker and then head to class. I can't remember what was said, but when I looked from the floor, I saw Elijah grab Amelia by her shoulders and literally slam her against the lockers. I remember hearing Amelia say, "No, leave me alone. I'm no cheater. Go away." But at that point, I was freaking out. I stood up from my spot just staring at them. And guys, believe me, I wanted to say something so bad, but I was really scared and confused and I didn't know what to do. I remember being so scared that I couldn't move, and I remember feeling so sick to the point of throwing up. I could just go to class and tell the teacher so that at the same time I don't have to be late, but I was worried about what would happen if I were to turn a blind eye. But as I was about to say something, I looked down the hall, and my Bible teacher was actually in the hallway the whole time, and actually rushed over to us and managed to break up the situation. Took him long enough if you ask me. Okay, that's enough. Back to class, you two. Although my Bible teacher escorted Amelia to go back to class, Elijah, he got so angry at her. And that moment, he actually started rushing towards her and shouted, "I'm going to you." My Bible teacher stood in between Elijah and Amelia and shouted, "You are not going to do anything. Do you understand?" And I'm still standing there like, oh my gosh, like what is even happening right now? I then turned towards Elijah and I saw him take his phone out of his pocket and slam it on the floor. Might I mention that we had tile floor? I'm pretty sure his phone isn't gonna recover from that. And he took his right arm and hit my locker dead on with his closed fist. He actually hit it so hard that I could see a dent in my locker. So yeah, that's pretty much it. My Bible teacher escorted Amelia to go to her class while Elijah went to his class, and I went to my class. And might I mention, I got hardcore death stares by my English teacher when I walked into class. Like, excuse me, did you not hear the predicament that I just got involved with just now? I know that you must have heard something because your door is literally wide open all the time. And it was wide open when I walked in. I mean, she probably didn't know that I wasn't involved, but did you not care to step out or maybe double check to see if everything was okay? Like seriously? Like, so I proceeded to walk to my seat, and wouldn't you have guessed it, 5 minutes into class, I got called up to her desk. So, care to provide an explanation as to why you are so late? Yeah, I know. I'm really sorry. Hello, excuse me? Sorry for interrupting. I just wanted to let you know that she got involved with the dilemma in the hallway. Oh, alrighty then. You may have a seat then. So yeah, surprisingly, I got excused for being late, and Elijah and Amelia's parents were called about the situation, and they both had to leave early that day. And I think Elijah got suspended for a couple of days. That kind of makes you question the education system if you really put your mind to it. But yeah, I'm very glad that a teacher was there in the hallway when this situation happened, and that they were able to help. Took him long enough to step in. Even though it took them a couple of minutes because, they were standing in the hallway for such a long time, like you honestly could have helped sooner. But I'm also really glad that Amelia was okay, but oh gosh. Literally throughout class, every single person was staring at me when I walked in. When I went to go back to my desk, everyone was staring at me. Everybody. And afterwards, everyone kept on walking up to me to ask what had happened. It was also shocking because I was new at this school, and like I barely talked to anybody, and I almost knew no one over here, so I was, you could say, overwhelmed. I'm not really sure why I chose this topic to talk about, maybe because I just wanted to reflect and reminisce on interesting moments that happened during my high school years. But if you are in school, well, school is approaching, but we're technically still in summer at the time that I'm recording this. But if you are, or not, of course, if you ever encounter a situation like mine, please try not to be a bystander. Tell a teacher, staff member, or just try to get someone who can help you. Sometimes when you have two people filled on adrenaline like that, they can be unpredictable. I was very lucky that my Bible teacher was in the hallway when this dilemma took place, and I think about what could have happened if the situation would have escalated. Also, like I've mentioned in the beginning, if you're ever pissed off or angry at someone, don't resort to fighting. Fighting should never be the answer. So yeah, I'm not exactly sure what to say here. Have there been any fights at your school or altercations with students and teachers? Or did you get involved with a fight like the one that I talked about today? Did you ever learn anything from those situations? Please feel free to let me know in the comments below. I remember small events here and there that are worth telling, but maybe another time. Anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope that you all have a good day or night. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye. Also, psych, this video didn't end. You must be wondering, oh wow, Nikki, your voice sounds like somewhat better. And I'm like, plot twist, Uno reverse card. I got a new microphone and I absolutely love it. And I'm so excited to film more videos with this microphone. Yay! So yeah, I hope that you guys have a good day. I hope that it's filled with nothing but good things and happiness and it's a lot of serotonin and dopamine. Yay! Oh gosh, I'm not even sure if I'm gonna put this in. Anyways, bye!